What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the best player in the NBA, LeBron James, and what we're witnessing from LeBron James this postseason is something not just unlike anything we've ever seen from him, but something unlike anything we've ever seen, period. I mean, we thought LeBron was great. We thought LeBron couldn't get better. I mean, in his 14th season this year, he's 32 years old, and for most players, when you're 32, you're on your way, well on your way, to the other side of the mountain, retirement. Because the mountain, that expression means, if you're on one side of the mountain, you're climbing the mountain and you're getting better. And once you reach your peak, that's your best, that's your prime. And then after your peak, you're walking down the mountain, and that's, your decline towards your inevitable retirement. Yet LeBron James is 32 years old. He's in his 14th season. He's played more basketball games than almost anybody in NBA history, yet he's still getting better. I find it incredible because look at the guys like Dwayne Wade, same draft class as LeBron James. You got Kirk Heinrich. I mean, he was the same draft class, and look how old he is. He's not even playing in the NBA anymore. When he was, we were talking about, how old Kirk Heinrich was. There's players from around 2003 draft class, or, before or after, that we're just saying, these guys are so old. I mean, Deron Williams, he was like 2004, 2005, or something like that. I don't know what exactly it was, but Deron Williams was picked after LeBron James, yet we're all talking about how Deron Williams is he's older, he's on that other side of 30, on the other side of the mountain, and he's in his decline towards his retirement. LeBron James was picked in 2003, and he's still getting better. Basically, every player from that time period, you can look at any player that was drafted in 2003 or earlier, and you can say for sure that they are on the other side of the mountain. It applies to everybody, except for LeBron James, which I can't. It's unbelievable. And the fact that you compare LeBron to those guys, I mean, maybe you could say, some guys played in college longer, but LeBron James, think about this. LeBron James gets to the NBA Finals every single year, which means he plays through an entire full season. Some players end their NBA season in April. LeBron ends his NBA season in June. All those extra games, all the extra conditioning. He doesn't get hurt. He plays basically every game. He's the main player on his team, and he plays around 39 minutes per game, career average. That's incredible. So not only has he played 14 seasons, but he plays 39 minutes a game. He plays every game. He plays every game until June. He's played in the Olympics, and he's still getting better. That is remarkable. He's played more games than almost everybody in NBA history. And by the time everybody gets, to the amount of minutes LeBron's played, think about the amount of minutes LeBron's played. Think about how much time LeBron's had the ball in his hands throughout his career. That's gotta be among, top 10 ever. I mean, it's ridiculous because he's so healthy, because he plays every, I can't, I've gone over it, it's crazy, and that the guy is still getting better. Now, this video isn't really about the fact that LeBron is still getting better, it's about how he's still getting better. I know that, it's crazy, and I spent the first 3 minutes of this video talking about how is this guy still getting better? He shouldn't be, it doesn't make any sense, he's unfair. I mean, I don't understand it myself, but we're going to roll with it, and we're going to talk about what he's doing this postseason that makes him his best version of himself. Now, a lot of people are going to say, when he was with the Cavs, in his early years, he was the best, or when he was with the Heat, he was the best. There's a ton of different versions of LeBrons that were all different, that I've heard people make cases for, this one was the best one, this one was the, when you take a look at his career, when he starts in Cleveland, that's his young self. And the difference between his young self and his new self is the fact that his pre-Miami days, he was a guy that was extremely athletic. He could get more buckets, I feel like. And he wasn't, the thing that makes him not as good as he is these days is he wasn't the same leader he is. He wasn't as valuable as he used to be. And he wasn't as good of a playmaker. He didn't understand the game as well. The thing that, keeps guys in the league when they get to their older age is the fact that they learn the game. They're smarter. And LeBron's taken that whole basketball IQ thing to a whole nother level. I mean, he's absolutely incredible when it comes to that mental game, being mentally ahead of your opponent, mentally tough. All that stuff LeBron James has mastered. He doesn't have to worry about that stuff. And his new LeBron is his best self because of that. The guy can, rest all these regular season games, and his team doesn't do that good. And, just come into the playoffs and, win our first 9 games and not even come close to worrying about a series. I mean, he's toying with the Eastern Conference. Look at how he's playing against Toronto and Boston and, everybody. It doesn't matter. The competition doesn't faze him. He's that good that he can literally toy with his opponents. He's in the Eastern Conference Finals, and he's treating that team like they're the Sixers, like they're the Nets. I mean, it's absolutely wild. I mean, this guy is no joke. Just take a look at the stats for this year's playoffs. He's averaging 35 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. He's shooting 56% from the field, 43% from 3, and yeah, okay, his free throw percentage is 74%. Isn't eye-popping, but he's still getting those 2 steals over a block. It's absolutely incredible. I've never seen anything like this. Like I said, the seasoned LeBron. He's been around a long time. He's not as athletic as he used to be. It's not stopping him. He's the best leader he's ever been. He's the most valuable player he's ever been in terms of, how he is when he's on the court versus off it. How he is when he just rests games and when he plays in games. It's incredible. I can't even describe it just because of the fact that, look, we're looking at this LeBron like, oh my God, this is like we've never seen this before, right? And I am too. But what about the fact that we were probably saying this last year, 2 years ago? Like, oh, he's this good, he's not going to get better than this. And he's 32 years old, and he's reached his peak. He's like Tom Brady. I mean, it's absolutely wild, like I said a million times in this video. Running out of adjectives, always. So what's he going to do next year? 9-0. Okay, so, you talk about, well, where's LeBron's competition in the East? A lot of people think that, LeBron James, like Skip Bayless does, that it's just a cakewalk for him. Through the Eastern Conference, he plays all these weak teams. They don't stand a chance anyway. And LeBron really isn't as good as we think he is. It's just the bad teams making him look good. And then there's, people on the exact other side that think that the East actually is really good. But the fact that LeBron is there makes everybody look weak. I mean, really, it's a matter of opinion. You can think whatever you want. Not one thing is set in stone. But I think there's an effect. Teams playing the Cavs just don't play that well. But I do think that LeBron is just a huge part of that, and he's just so good that teams don't stand a chance against him. So why is this his best self? Well, LeBron James is putting up his best postseason stats, and, in the regular season, he averaged a career high in assists. Not that that matters. He had a really good regular season. His team didn't win that many games, but like we all know, it's not about the regular season. It's about the postseason. LeBron James dominates the postseason. Doesn't matter if you win 51 games in the regular season if you win the NBA Finals. Doesn't matter if you win 44 games in the regular season as long as you win the NBA Finals. It doesn't matter, and LeBron knows that. He knows what's important. It's not about getting that 1 seed. Because look who they're playing. I mean, they're making the Celtics look like a 15 seed. It's honestly incredible. They're making them look like a college team. It's so weird that switch is flipped. Like, we all talked about it like, oh, they're going to flip the switch. They weren't playing good in the regular season. Well, LeBron James knows. It's all about the postseason, and what LeBron's done in the postseason has been unmatched by any of his past selves. 9-0, 35 points a night, 7 assists, 9 rebounds, 2 steals, a block, 56% from the floor, and 43% from downtown. Also making over 2.5 threes a game. I mean, his 3-point percentage has been by far his best. The 3-point shooting has been by far his best, in the playoffs ever. And his field goal percentage is his second best ever. The 35 points is his second best ever. He's just doing so much. And the wins are basically the most important part, because it doesn't really matter what stats you put up as long as you're winning. But LeBron's doing both. I mean, he's been by far the best player in the playoffs so far, and he's winning all of his games basically as a one-man machine. It's crazy, because I always talk about, look, these one-man teams can't win. Well, if you're LeBron James, you can win in the playoffs. I mean, because look at Westbrook. I mean, Westbrook couldn't win with that team. It didn't matter how good he did. One-man teams are not destined to win championships. But LeBron James and the Cavs looking like a one-man team because Kyrie Irving's having a terrible postseason. They're getting a little bit better production out of Kevin Love, but it still remains the same narrative. LeBron has to carry this team, and LeBron can carry this team. He's like the only player in the NBA that can carry a team to the NBA Finals. Everybody in the NBA is afraid of this guy, and it starts in Indiana. And look, they get 4 wins against Indiana, and I'm like, oh, well, they barely won those games. And then they just smashed the Raptors. I mean, they beat the Raptors by an average of over 15 points a game. That was incredible. Probably was 20, actually. I don't know the exact. But I know that they won 3 games by at least 20, and the 4th game was a little closer, but it didn't matter. The series was over. That's incredible. And then the Boston Celtics, you come out here, you're the 1 seed. You're happy you got that home court advantage. It did you real good, didn't it? You lose by 30. You make me look bad in my video. Seriously, I don't understand. And it's all because of him. I mean, look what he did last night. He had 38, 7, and 9, I think. And there was nothing they could do. Nothing anybody could do to stop this guy. They kept switching matchups. They kept seeing where they were going to put on him. And they could roll through defenders just over and over and over again. And nothing was going to work. And there's nothing you could do with that. He's literally an unstoppable force. We know this is all a warm-up for the real test. The NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors. That's going to be something. If he wins that, man, he might have to move up a spot in that greatest of all time ranking. He might have to. That's wild, what he's doing these days. And it's funny because you look at, it's like LeBron in the East, Golden State in the West. We're talking about the two powerhouses in the NBA. I said LeBron in the East, Golden State. LeBron is a player, Golden State's a team, but we can literally say like LeBron is a powerhouse in the East. Not the Cavs, but LeBron. That's wild. That's insane. And it's gonna be really exciting to see, like, okay, we got these two powerhouses, LeBron and Golden State. What's gonna happen? They haven't lost a game yet. Golden State 10-0. Cleveland 9-0. Who's gonna blink first when they play each other? Like, who's gonna lose? Like, that's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for that. Now that I've made up my mind, like, okay, we're gonna see Golden State, Cleveland 3. Fine. I didn't want to see it, like I said, like I've been saying. I want to see more competition in the NBA, but we're not gonna get it this year. Definitely not. So we'll see what LeBron has to offer against the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals once they're done with this. Probably sweep. I said Cavs in 5 after the first video, but just how bad Boston got beat down. Do you really think Boston can take a game? If they do take a game, it's got to be this next one, which, do they really have enough confidence at this point to do that? They just got whooped by 30. They only lost by 13, but still, they were down 30 almost. So, it's going to be interesting to see how they bounce back. They won't bounce back because teams, again, in the East against LeBron never do. Yeah, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and idea down below. What do you think about this? Do you think LeBron's the best player of all time? Second best, third best, whatever. What do you guys think? Subscribe if you're new, and I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.